Hi, this is Bernie Gracie of AncestralHunt.com, here on location in Berlin, Connecticut, otherwise known as the geographic center of our state. Why is this important from a genealogy perspective? Well, whatever family tree database program that you're using, or if you're transcribing a census record and you've identified a location of where one of your ancestors was born, and that was Connecticut, and then you attempt to geocode it, well, it won't matter if they lived in Ashford, Connecticut, Hartford, Connecticut, Southbury, Connecticut, Greenwich, Connecticut. Everything is going to geocode to the center of the state here in Berlin, Connecticut. So recording something as the state of Connecticut where someone is born, is that going to help you to be able to do location-based research? No! What you need to do is to think about this push pin. As you become more familiar with AncestralHunt.com, the push pin will be very, very important. What you want to get is as precise as possible the location of the life events of your ancestor. Where they were born, where they died, where they were buried, where they lived, where they worked, where the locations of their farms were, what church did they belong to, what fields did they own. And as you capture more and more precise information and work with other people who might know those precise locations, you'll, instead of having a point which is hovering over Berlin, Connecticut, you'll be actually looking at the exact location of where your ancestors lived. And when you have that precise location, the power and tools of location-based genealogy will be before you. This is Bernie Gracie of AncestralHunt.com. Thank you for listening. And now let's do a little bit of a tutorial on how to do location-based data quality. To demonstrate how we can improve location data quality in AncestralHunt.com, we'll use a typical use case of a census record and the identification of a family microtree, and we'll show through iteration how location data quality can be improved within our platform. To demonstrate location-based data quality, let us go to the 1850 census in the town of Sharon in Litchfield County, Connecticut. Our objective is to break down a brick wall. It is to identify the birth location and family of one Lauren Emmons. A quick scan of the census record finds a 52-year-old Lauren Emmons in Sharon as a farmer, and living with him a 50-year-old woman named Sylvia, who could be his wife, but again, no indication, it could be his sister. Within the census record, we also find two younger Emmons, could potentially be sons, but again, no indication, it could be nephews, cousins, what have you, of a William Emmons and a Lauren Emmons Jr. Also living with them, again, no indication of how they're related, is an older woman, Rhoda Smith. I'll use AncestralHunt.com's census transcription platform to capture the individuals, but also to be able to capture the location-based information that presented itself in the census record. Now that we've loaded this microfamily of Lauren and Sylvia and William and Lauren and Rhoda, we'll now look for the Emmonses and geovisualize them. There they are. You remember my video taken in Berlin, Connecticut? I talked about the concept of the hovering pushpin, that the higher the pushpin, the less intrinsic data quality does a life event for an ancestor have. In this case, you see two pushpins. Again, one hovering over Sharon, Connecticut, and one hovering over the state of Connecticut. I can actually click on those pushpins and see there's actually 4 major events associated with that pushpin, that location. I click on one, and we've seen here the birthplace for Mr. Lauren Emmons Jr., who we had transcribed through the census transcription platform. And here we've captured, that they were born approximately 1832. They were born in the state of Connecticut. We have the source, but the geocode, the latitude and longitude, is basically the centroid of the state, because that's all we know. The purpose there, if I'm looking at Lauren Emmons Jr., if that was my target, is to say that information, while of interest, has little value for me. That what I need to do is to move this point and get it down closer, closer, closer to the Earth for where Lauren Emmons was born, where he was christened, where he was married, where he owned a home, where he died, where he was buried. When I get that plurality of life events, then I'm able to take that data and mash it up with other people's data to be able to indicate probable patterns of relatedness. Rotating in, you can see here more information is associated with that pushpin. And basically those 4 pushpins are related to the birthplaces of each of the people that we transcribed. Lauren Emmons Jr., Sylvia, and as well as Rhoda. And by clicking on that point, we can identify who the individuals are or the 4 events that are associated with the state of Connecticut. Now you can imagine in a family tree, as you don't have that G-coded level and it's just to Connecticut, do you know how many pushpins you'll see when you click on that? Again, another incentive and motivation to go in and resolve that location. So I'm back in search, and I'm going to actually go in and edit information that I have found, knowing a little bit more about Lauren Emmons. And you can see here we have the last known location was basically within the 1850 census record, which allowed us to get accuracy to a town level. But I'm going to go edit this person. I'm going to add a couple more events associated with Lauren, which will help spread out the information of his life events across Connecticut to help conduct location-based research. In this case here, you see that there's 2 events associated with Lauren. One is that he was in the house in 1850, that we have a start and end date, and we have an implied birthplace of Lauren Emmons in 1798. What we're going to do is that I do know is that Lauren was born in Morris, what is now Morris, Connecticut. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to go ahead and edit the information around the birthplace of Lauren. And here, I am updating that information, and I have a couple sources from this. One is the ability to take a geocoded location and use that, or I have the right, in fact, within ancestral.com, anyone has the right to be able to come in and edit the data, but that change is maintained in a history. You have to be logged in, you have to be recognized, and when you update that change, it knows that B. Gracie here, B. Gracie Jr. is making that change. You'll note here that I had originally created Lauren, and now, a couple hours later, I have now gone in and updated it. So we have that history of what was updated, And now we know that Lauren was actually born in Morris. If we were to go back and geovisualize, you'll see that we have a third push pin. We have a push pin over Sharon. We have a push pin on the birthplace, which is here in Morris, Connecticut. So we have resolved information that was just in Connecticut to now to be in Morris, Connecticut. Further research says that not only was Lauren born in Morris, Connecticut, but Lauren was born in what is now West Street. So I actually can go in and further resolve that information. So I select Lauren again. I'm going to edit Lauren. Actually, I'm going to edit Lauren's events. Select the birthplace. And indicate that Lauren was actually born in West Street. Now we're really getting pretty close. Let me go ahead again and geovisualize Lauren. And here we've captured the geoaccuracy of that information down to the street level. Through this iterative process, we have the ability to resolve a piece of information to say that Lauren Emmons was born in Connecticut, to actually indicating that, no, Lauren was born in Morris, Connecticut, and someone coming in and saying, no, Loris was actually born in West Street in Morris, Connecticut. And we're now getting to a point where we're able to take that push pin and drive it closer and closer and closer into the earth, and therefore getting higher and higher confidence that the data around that point, as we start conducting location-based search, will be highly accurate, and not only that, but highly relevant, in associating that with other highly accurate pieces of information to see who Lauren interacted with and potentially was related to. We have some very exciting features which will help researchers further resolve these push pins down into the earth with even higher accuracy and more convenience. For more information, come to our beta site at ancestralhunt.com. Thank you for listening.